my Colossus Copiums. Welcome to another episode of Breakfast and Banlist. For anyone who's new to this series, this is basically where we compile our wish list and our actual predictions for the looming ban list because I feel like it's coming pretty soon. And we talk about it in one video. Obviously, there's some copium, but there's some actual generated thoughts here that we encourage you guys to have discussions for in the comment section. Now, all I ask is that you guys be nice, be respectful. You're totally allowed to talk. We're going to talk with you in the comments. Just, keep it civil. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! As always, we really want to keep you guys involved in this series, so I did post on Twitter and the community page what you guys thought should be hit on this list, and we did incorporate some of those thoughts that we will be addressing in this video. So I hope you guys are excited to talk about everything because boy oh boy, there's a lot. All that being said, grab your breakfast, grab your snack, whatever time of day it is for you. Subscribe to the channel, join the sub squad, hit the notification bell, like the video, and make sure you leave your comments and predictions and all that fun stuff for the upcoming ban list. We're really excited, so let's just get right into the ban section, team.
So as Logan said, this is a very, very long list. We're going to try not to talk about all these cards.
Speed run.
Yeah, speed run here. The first card that I think needs to be banned, that we think needs to be banned, you think needs to be banned, everyone thinks this card needs to be banned, Scythe. Literally, we do not need to talk about this card. Floodgates aren't fun. Not being able to summon from your action deck, it's literally just like an FDK. This card should not have been in the game for the last 3 formats.
Yeah, there's been the argument of whether it should be Scythe or Dagda. At this point, just hit Scythe. I just get rid of the problem card. I think we're at that point where it's just kind of stale.
And moving on, speaking of floodgates.
And being stale, Mystic Mine. It's had its time. It's been around a little too long. We were the people advocating for Mystic Mine to stay around for the longest time, so I'm sure this is actually surprising to some of y'all that have been around for a while, but honestly, it's kind of getting old.
Yeah, this card, it literally won the YCS. It got second place at Nats because of, this card is just one of those degenerate cards. Combo decks are starting to main deck this card. That's just not happening.
It's just starting to become like a really toxic tech index now. Like, I literally have played against it at locals as like a cool tech card to stall, and it's just like,
it's annoying.
It's just becoming unfun. Yeah. I think it's just time for Mystic Mind to see his way out. And boy, oh boy, we're still not done with floodgates, don't you worry. This one was actually mentioned by a lot of y'all on the community page and on Twitter, surprisingly. I was actually kind of shocked to see this one got so much attention, but the wind barrier statue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Flu still exists, and it's, hitting Flu without hitting Flu, and I do think the wind barrier statue is kind of annoying at this point. Yep. I don't know if I think it's gonna get hit, but I just wanted to mention it because y'all mentioned it, so here we are.
This is a card that if you've watched any of the videos for the last 6 months on our channel, you know we absolutely despise this card. Y'all seem to think that this card needs to be at 3. I love y'all, but you're all incorrect. Call by the Grave needs to go to 0. If you want to hear more about this, we will be streaming tonight on Twitch. Hey. Feel free to hit the links in the description box down below. We'll see y'all there tonight. We will talk about this, but there's honestly so much that we have to say, I have to say, especially about this card in particular. We can't just waste 14 minutes in a video for it.
You guys would be here for this would be a 10-hour loop of Brian just complaining about call by. We'll see you tonight on stream, don't worry.
And then another one of my hot takes here. This deck has been around for 4 years. It feels like this deck has been full power for 4 years.
Yeah.
Even though they've hit it like 7 different times, I honestly think it is time to see Striker Dragon go to 0. Dragon Link can play the punk cards, they can play the brave cards, they can play everything in the world. They got Snow, Chaos Ruler. Like, this deck literally can still just do it all. I'm sick and tired of seeing this deck at every event, at every table, at least one. Like, let's get rid of this deck, please. This deck has been more than playable for like 85 years.
And frankly, if you're not going to give me back Colossus at this point because it's too old, you know what? Screw all these old decks.
Yeah.
Let them rot too. Another very popular hit that everyone seems to be talking about between our Discord community post and Twitter is Chaos Ruler. By golly, that generic level 8 really became handy this last 2 formats. He is busted. He recurs himself. It's so easy to just put this thing on the board, mill, and now that we're in a format that mills heavily and you can mill another 5, Snow is legal. We've got Jet Synchron back. There are so many tuners that are like live in this game and just cards that are currently live in the graveyard. Like literally every tier element card and like everything ever. It just seems like the graveyard is just the new deck at this point. So Chaos Ruler has just become so broken in the last few formats that it feels necessary.
This is one of my favorite cards of all time, and I'm actually an advocate to have this card banned. This card just does too much and too many strategies.
God, it's so frustrating. Like, it's just, ugh. Oh man, did someone say Snow? It's not quite winter yet, but God, I think she needs to go. She is terrible.
Oh, we both hate this
hate
card.
her. She's gotta go. I don't know why she came off the list. I think that was such a mistake.
Yeah, literally, Konami, who thought that was a good idea?
I just don't like it. I just think this card is so toxic. It's not a hard once per turn. Literally not
a hard once per chain. Like, bruh.
She's just like a tiny evil Zeus. So yeah, ban Snow.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm over it. Bye.
I'm actually on a different route. I think the best way is probably maybe to ban Shooting Riser. Once again, with the punk cards, with all the tuner access out there, with the Brave engine, being able to get 3s, 4s, whatever, you can make a 7. This can send Snow or anything else. This card is literally just Foolish Burial, which is searchable via the extra deck. It went to 1 last list. No one plays more than 1. Maybe we just get rid of it.
Maybe we just, I don't know, talk about the deck called Tier Element that mills for like days. I don't think Shooting Riser's the problem anymore. You mill Snow, you're good, bro. No. So these next few cards are technically in the banned section, but these are cards that we aren't necessarily on board for the getting hit like kind of thing, but we also think they're potential, but they're also cards that y'all have talked about that we want to mention that either have a high possibility, a low possibility, or could just be some copium as to getting banned.
The first of which is one of my favorites of all time, which is why I'm very biased. It is Needle Fiber.
Oh, little soup boy.
I think genuinely, if we do get rid of either Shooting Riser and or Chaos Ruler, and definitely Scythe, these synchro decks don't really have like a win condition other than like Baron Hand Traps Pass, which like every deck can play through that right now. I think Needle Fiber is actually a decent extender card. Doesn't really need to be in the game, but also doesn't really need to be removed from the game if we take these approaches. So maybe we keep it around, maybe we don't. I've actually noticed that the limit to 1 made a lot of these decks not as powerful because you can't just turbo Needle Fiber every turn. So maybe 1 might be the way. We'll have to let Konami see what they want to do.
All right, I'm just gonna say this right now. Everyone, I love y'all. I think you're perfect. My sub squad, my beautiful angels, my stars in the sky. Toad is not getting banned yet.
Yeah, literally.
I 100% think he will be banned either next format or even the format after that. Two weeks old, not even the format. They just printed the Sprite card, sweetie.
Yeah.
They're not banning Toad right now. I'm just like...
because the OCG banned it a couple weeks ago, the OCG had Sprite for months. We just got it 2 weeks ago. Like, we're not following the OCG because we don't have the same release schedule.
I don't think you're wrong. I think Toad will eventually be banned, but that is not happening right now. They want to sell Sprite cards. They are a business. We have this conversation every single time. Businesses want to sell things. If they want to sell things, the deck needs to be playable. Toad is kind of a pretty important part of the Sprite engine right now. They're going to want to maximize the hecky out of that. And frankly, who knows? It could be an ulti at OTS 20.
Please.
We don't know. I'm really hoping. That'd be great for me, you know, Paleo Mom. But I don't think Toad is getting hit this list. We all got to chill on that. I understand the logic, but it's not happening yet. Thank you. That is my PSA.
And the last one that was mentioned heavily, I actually agree with a lot, which is the ban of Anti-Spell. This card is literally just IO because you only get 1 turn. Standby phase, Anti-Spell, your Equalizer cards, your Dark Rulers, your Ultimate Slays, Lightning Storms. They don't matter anymore because you can't activate them, and then your opponent just kills you on the follow-up, so it doesn't matter what you set. Unfortunately, this card was released as a collector's rare in the next upcoming set in a couple weeks. I don't think they're going to hit this card, but Konami, please put it to 1 or something.
I don't know. It's a collector's rare, baby. I think that was the biggest, funniest little shtick in the mouth for that one. So it sucks, but Anti-Spell's sticking around for a little longer, team. All right, time for the limited section. We're going to talk about cards that could possibly go to 1. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of these, but Brian's going to start us off.
I think realistically, as Logan said prior, we do want to see Konami try to push new product, try to push new decks. In order to do that, you kind of need to push some of the older cards out of the format. I don't think these cards need to see a hit. However, once again, business, strategy, it would make sense if we saw something like Sword Soul Emergence and Branded Opening go to 1. It makes these decks still very strong, but less consistent, and would promote you to play the new decks while still allowing you to have the old decks, but encouraging the new format to have new cards.
Yeah. But moving on to things that I actually definitely think should be going to 1 is E-Telly. I think E-Telly needs to go to 1, like so bad. Like
this card's busted.
I play E-Telly in my Sprite deck, and every time I see it, I'm like, damn, it's really good with starter and right. Man, that's a pretty darn good hand, pretty bopping if I do say so myself. I think E-Telly is just pretty darn whack. Not a hard once per turn, special summoning from the deck in a format where, you know, Gamma's a 2, Sprite's a 2 deck. That's pretty good.
Ogre's a hand trap, Z-Man can get you literally anything and everything you ever wanted. Like, E-Telly is very strong. I don't think they're gonna hit E-Telly. They just brought it to 3. There's no reason for them to put it back down to 2 or 1. Once again, Konami will be the judge of that.
I don't agree with that. I think Konami's very good at bringing things back for format and then, you know, banning it again just to make all of us feel really bad. So yeah.
Little copium section here for me. I would love to see Super Poly go to 1. I know it's a little unrealistic, but this card is one of those board breakers that you can't respond to. Every single deck is basically playing into this card. With the brand new release of Garura, this card is absolutely broken.
Sorry, Super Poly is broken, but Gawoopa go burr. I don't necessarily think Super Poly will go to 1. I think it's entirely realistic, but again, it's really hard with the limits.
Y'all said this too. Y'all said this too.
Yeah, this was also really popular, so I don't know. Comment section.
let us know.
Clear case.
And then another one, the OCG did get it back. I honestly do think this is maybe a little power crap. Maybe it comes off, maybe it doesn't. But y'all mentioned it came off in the OCG, so Spellbook of Judgment to 1. If it came off, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what it does. I've never read the card in my life. All right, team, it's that part of the video where either everyone clicks away, gets really angry, or rallies for the valiance of men. And that is the Harp, Colossus, and now newly adding Dryden to come back to 1. I don't see why Dryden can't come back. I think Dryden is 100% okay. I don't think Barrage can come back. I think Barrage is a little too good, a little too generic. I don't think it's humanly possible. But I think Dryden is 100% fair, because then if we have Barrage, it just turbos out Zeus way too easy, whereas Dryden, it's like, you gotta make Dryden, bro, and resolve.
I think the most likely to come back out of these is definitely Harpor. I think it's honestly only a matter of time before we see this card come to 1. And once again, if we do hit something like the E-Telly or the Chaos Ruler or the Shooting Riser and make graveyards not as accessible, I don't think Orcus is really going to do much at all.
Again, it's really hard because a lot of things that are mentioned on these predictions and wish lists are very dependent on what actually gets hit. Obviously, this isn't a free-for-all where everything comes back, everything gets hit, because that makes no sense. It's extremely dependent on what stays legal and what doesn't, which obviously we don't know because we don't work at Konami and neither do our dads. But I do think Colossus should come to 1. That's it. Argue in the comments all you want. I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna sip on my little copium, and I'm gonna feel nothing but joy. Semi-limit time. Oh my god, I guess the semi-limited section is just a thing at this point. So we're gonna speed through it, but yeah, here we go.
It's interesting that there's actually a lot of cards on this. I think the first one, if we do ban Mystic Mine, I would love to see Metaverse come back to 2.
Oh my god, that'd be so great. We have the new Labyrinth archetype coming out. I feel like Layer of Darkness, like a lot of decks that like Light Stage, like a lot of decks that are field spell reliant. Like I feel like Metaverse to 2 would just be really nice. You can trap trick it out. I think that'd be a nice little addition to the world again.
And speaking of things that are coming out, we do get the brand new Dark World structure deck. I think it would make a lot of sense, once again,
business strategy,
to bring some of the dangers back to 2. If not Jackalope, maybe just Tsuchinoko. We can see them come back. I don't think they'd really make a huge impact other than like PK gets 1 additional extender.
But you're hitting Scythe, so they're not doing anything anymore. Ooh, Fogblade. And then obviously this is more of an obligatory hit that literally everyone saw coming and everyone mentioned. The Brave stuff. Going to 2, probably Enchantress and Right. I just think that is the most logical thing to do. I believe that is what the OCG also did as like a transitionary period. That wasn't a word, but it's okay. We're gonna call it one for this. But I definitely think hitting the Brave stuff is the logical thing to do. It's just, you know, it's pretty good. You top deck Right, you basically win the game.
I genuinely don't think they're gonna hit the Brave stuff. This list, they may not, but I don't think it's that big of a problem. And I think it may even be a little bit of copium here, but a lot of people said, you know, skill drain back to 1. I would make the argument that something like Draco back allows you to deal with these floodgates a little bit more easily.
I actually did that at locals today. I Draco back to skill drain and I never felt more powerful. I'm like, yo, thanks for the 1,000 life points you just paid, brother.
Maybe they hit it, maybe they don't.
Astrograph to 2. You're welcome, Triff. I don't know. It's a collector's right now, so probably going to 2. That's usually how things go. Moving on to the unlimited section. Things are coming to 3, baby.
Oh, yeah.
All these cards have literally come to 2 in the last like 1 or 2 lists, so it just kind of seems right that they come to 3 instead of having this big clogged up semi-limited section. So we've got Desires, we've got Tenki, we've got Dynamite Knight, I guess, whatever. And then we have Light Stage. Poor Light Stage, it can come back to 3. I think that's fair.
And then lastly, I think this card actually would make a lot of sense to come back to 3. We just got a Starlight Rare DPE. Verte is banned, Fusion Destiny to 3. I don't think makes that big of a difference. If they want to keep it at 2, it's totally fine. I think 3 of it isn't that big of a deal though.
I also think it's really good for rogue decks because, like, you know, Fusion Destiny is not as bad to activate as Red Eyes Fusion, and you know, it's just a cool card. I think it's fine.
Psst. You know what would make this ban list better? Maxi to 3. It's split format, baby. Let's go.
And that's basically it. That's just our predictions, your guys' predictions, everyone's wish list. I don't know. We tried to combine as much as we could in here. Obviously, there are so many other cards and things that could come off, could be put on the list. You know, obviously, there's a whole lot of conversation that can happen, but that's why we have a comment section. So feel free to check it out. Make sure you join the Discord. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on stream tonight. Come hang out. We will obviously be talking about all this, and we will have hours upon hours to bounce back and forth some nice, healthy conversation. But thank you all for hanging out for us with another episode of Breakfast and Banlist. We appreciate you. Yeah, that's it. We hope a Banlist comes soon. If not, that's okay. I don't think we're honestly getting one soon, but Brian does. So we'll just have to see who's right with that one. But make sure you leave your comments down below, team. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. And we will see you guys in all these fun videos over here. I didn't forget this time. All right, bye.
See y'all guys.